like to call them light sculptures. Originally, I called them lanterns because they were more like a craft than they were an art form. But gradually over the years, they've become more and more unique works of art. And so I changed the name to light sculptures. Way back in 1976, one of the members of the household who was trained as an architect had developed this form of bending woods, gluing them together using a hot melt glue gun, and then covering them with paper that has been saturated with white glue. The moment I saw one, I was immediately attracted to it. What inspires me to make the particular forms that I do? If you look at them, of course, most people would see natural forms like we see in shells, perhaps the flowing patterns in grains of wood, the wings of butterflies, one of my favorite inspirations. The black sand on the beach at low tide. As the tide goes out and leaves the heavier black iron filings behind, I often see some very interesting patterns. And I think what I'll do is put a piece that goes from here down to here. Oh, I like that. I like that. When I started this art form, I remember thinking to myself, oh, I'm going to run out of designs in 2 or 3 years. You know, there are only so many forms in nature, and surely I will have exhausted them, and then I'll move on to something else. And I found that to be actually the opposite, that the more I apply myself to this art form, the more ideas I have that I want to explore. I have more ideas than I have time to apply myself to. But I think that is probably what defines an art form, is there's always more to do, more inspiration than one can possibly accomplish. When it comes to creating a new piece, as I see it created in front of me, often, and you will hear this from artists and poets as well, it seems like the object takes on a life of its own. And to watch that happening, even though it's coming through you, it's often surprising, and there is a certain creative joy. In fact, that's what I would call it, creative joy. I think it's one of the most fulfilling things in life. This is a very contemplative process, so it's not as exciting as the design, but it's very pleasant, meditative. In my work, I hope that it conveys a sense of serenity. One of the purposes of my work is for people to put something in their home, in their environment, which when they look at it, gives them a sense of inner peace. There has been some research done by neuroscientists that show that when the brain is on art, your brain on art, experiences a sense of pleasure looking at flowing forms.
Well, I started helping William making his own light sculptures about 8 years ago when we met. He showed me, and I've never seen this form of art, and I was truly fascinated. And as a mixed media artist, I thought, well, I'll give it a try. We also decided to get married under a beautiful Nurtamid, the Eternal Light, light sculpture that William had created a few years before. So that light sculpture that was above our heads at our wedding is now in a
Unitarian
Universalist Fellowship in Vista. And people really enjoys the combination of being in a sacred space, in a space of worship, but also a space of community, and they love to meditate under that light sculpture.